Good evening. It is 6:02 on August 4th, 2024. I'd like to call the DeKalb Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. Clerk, can we have a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Trustee Bradlow,
Here.
trustee McNutt,
Here.
trustee King,
Present.
trustee Thurman,
Here.
and supervisor Hess.
Here.
Also present is Assessor Dyer, and I apologize, what is your name? Fire
Tom Conley.
Tom Conley from the fire department. Thank you.
Can we stand for the pledge, please? Lieutenant Conley, if you'd like to lead us.
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes they wish to make to the agenda? Hearing none. The agenda is all those in favor of the agenda as it is, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Agenda set. Presentations. Tonight I invited Lieutenant Conley to be here because the Knox boxes came in, so I just thought it'd be good for him to give us an update on how our funding has helped to support this program and maybe then get a picture.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me. On behalf of Chief Thomas, he apologizes for not being here this evening. I had other obligation, but on his behalf, on the behalf of the DeKalb Fire Department, and especially the citizens that these have benefited, thank you very much for this, your continued support of this program. To date, I have installed 60 Knox boxes. 2 years ago, you purchased 50 of them. 10 of them have come back and have been recirculated into the system. So we've installed several of them. I don't have an exact number of how many homes that we've responded to. I would say well over 100 calls that we've gone to. Every person has been very grateful, very thankful for this to be in place. It's just provided ease of access to their home and a sense of security for themselves. So I brought, this is what they look like when they come in. It's a fancy little box. With some instructions, I go out. It takes all of about 5 minutes to install it. It's the home Knox box itself. Mounts on the side of the house. If you want to take a look, and 4 simple screws. Put it up there. Put their key in there. That's the only requirement that they have to have for us. And here we go. And then to take it down is just easy. It's indestructible. So but again, this has really been a game changer for a lot of people. So thank you again.
Any questions about the Knox box program?
So the 10 that you received, are those people moved or they passed on or?
Yeah, whatever their various reasons, or they either moved or moved on.
Yeah. I just think like, why would you get it back? But I guess.
Some have gone into permanent facilities, you know, retirement homes, you know, extended care, yeah, nursing homes, or I know a couple of people have been passed, but you know.
And it's good to hear they're working.
Yeah, and again, I call them once a year and give everybody a phone call a year after I install it, and they're all very grateful. So thank you for this.
Yeah, I think it's a great.
And it's been great for our. We're going to go ahead and we were planning on making a push at the senior fair, but we're going to go ahead and do something similar to that and get the word out again and make sure the people that need them. And we've been, you know, making sure that everybody knows that you guys were the contributor to this program. So
Thanks for that.
no problem. Thank you very much.
Do you guys just get phone calls from people requesting them?
Yeah, or we make a recommendation. Chief Karani there's a gentleman in his neighborhood. He has tried to say, hey, you really need this, and there's been no response, but typically we get some kind of a response from people, and it's a matter of, you know, a day or two and it's on the side of their house. So
So we'll be, if everyone's willing, I'd like to get a picture with Lieutenant. And would it be appropriate for us to put this on our website? And
Sure.
I mean, just as another place where people may see it?
Yeah, that would be absolutely perfect. Just, I can forward you the applications and they can fill them out and get them to the fire station and we'll just go from there with it, or they can call me directly too. That's
Okay,
fine.
okay. And just so that you know, I don't know the exact details, but I can get it to you. There's a group of organizations planning a senior fair, like they did last year. And so I'll make sure that someone
Yeah.
knows about it.
Yeah, we'd love to come down, with Pat Erickson, our pub ed guy. We can make something. We'll definitely be there. So.
Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome,
Thank you.
sure. Mind if we take it out in the picture out in the hallway, because we've got that new fancy wall there. It's got our name in the background.
You want me to take the picture?
Thank you.
Oh, all of us.
Fine.
I thought it was just her.
The ones that approved it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All of it. It's a big part. A new show. Movie. How you doing this? Man?
You don't know how to hear that. You know how to hear that.
You been running these guys.
Gotta slow down, can't see Dale.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you all very much.
Yes.
Truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks. You too? What can I tell you?
I hope so.
So Craig today?
Let's play the hooky.
Ah,
It's cold in here.
No,
I think I was at the sport for a couple.
Oh, really? Well, glad you took a lot then.
that took 5 or 6, something like that, so.
So that will end up on our Facebook page, just so that we can, put it out there that we financially support this program. So, all right, moving on, public comment, no members of the public are here, so reports, supervisor's report. Just some things that have gone on in the past month. We had our Committee on Youth meeting, which trustee Bradlow will provide an update on. We participated in Family Fun Fest at Hopkins Park. There was another tax summit meeting made up of all the different taxing bodies, where we just talked about ways to keep our property taxes low and with all the economic development happening here. And so these are going to continue on, and we'll touch on other subjects in future meetings. One of the requests that I made is, could someone come and talk to us about the long-term effects of pay increases, just so that we can better understand, what financial position we put the township in each time we consider pay increases. And I'd like to get that from IMRF too. So those will hopefully continue on. Last month, we had the Secretary of State mobile unit here. And with that, we served a total of 48 individuals with different real IDs, driver's license, state IDs, and so forth. So they were busy the whole time they were here, which was great. There was a joint review board meeting last month, and so in your board packet, I did put information about the proposed new 4th Street Corridor TIF district. That's on page 8, a map of that. And so that starts right at the tollway and goes north to Taylor. It includes 4th Street and some sides on the east and west. The city has, it was on their agenda last night too for city council or Monday night. And there will be, as you can see from this schedule, there will be public meetings coming up about that. And I just, of note is that our building is included in that TIF district. So if Craig, the highway department being the owner of this building, should elect to make some improvements, they could potentially qualify for some TIF funds, but of course, it's limited what you can use those TIF funds for. That's even if, you know, this project goes forward. So one of the things that they're talking about that I think would be really great, since we have more traffic on here now, is potentially changing it from 4 lanes on 4th Street, or I don't know if you call it 4 or 5, because there's a turn lane, down to 2 or 3 if you have a turn lane. I think that would help with the safety out here, especially with kids walking.
Not one of the lanes is so narrow anyway.
Yeah.
Like the lanes aren't the same width.
Yeah, they're super narrow.
The curb lane is more narrow than the interior.
Yeah, on this side of the street,
North and south, I think the inside lane is full width and the outside lane is,
yeah,
or the other way.
I get so worried about the kids walking on there. The only thing that I think is gonna take consideration is drop off time and pickup time at Huntley Middle School. There's cars on 4th Street. And so if you turn that into 1 lane in each direction, gotta have a solution for that.
But it's 1 lane down here. And it's 1 lane when you get up to Taylor. And it's not like there's a gazillion businesses that need 2 lanes each direction.
Right. The way it was explained to us is that at the time, 4th Street, you know, at one point in time, they thought there was gonna be a lot more development.
Yeah.
And they needed that, but. So yeah, stay tuned for that. The public meeting is coming up at the end of this month, so. If anyone's interested in going, December, August 26th. On the 30th of July, I went to Springfield to the TOI election seminar. That was open to, it was put on by the clerks division, but it was open to anyone just to get refreshed on, you know, come election time, how we accept nominations or, you know, petitions. And so I have shared all of my information with Clerk Tillotson, who will now set up some protocols, unless he elects to be here every day to accept those packets during that time frame that they can be dropped off. So I just want to make sure that when you only do it once every 4 years, that we are in good standing and are prepared to do that. On August 1st, we were at the farmer's market and we had another IPAS event at Branda's. And Trustee Thurman was there, so I'm gonna leave it to him to report on that and when there's time, because he was there the whole time, and it was another really great event. August 6th was National Night Out, where we had a table at that. The end of August was the deadline for turning in the Human Service Partners funding applications. And it's just kind of interesting, in 2023, we had received 17 applications with an initial request amount of 198,000. We ended up funding 17 of those with our totaling 187,500. This year, we have increased our numbers. 26 applications were turned into us with a request amount of 338,000. That's 5 new organizations that we haven't worked with in the past. So we're gonna have some tough decisions to make on, because we have 210,000 earmarked and 338 was requested. So Trustee Thurman has agreed to help with going through those applications. And then also our Director of General Assistance, Casey, is assisting with that because our GA people know what individuals are coming in here are, you know, aside from the help that we can provide them, what their needs are in the community. So we want to make sure we're partnering with organizations that we can provide comprehensive services when people walk through our door. So hopefully the vote will come back no later than October with a recommendation on what organizations to fund. Cemetery update, the paving is supposed to be happening at the end of this week, weather permitting, so hopefully that will happen. I put in at each of your spots, this is a draft of a new sign that we're gonna get. We've been working on at Oakwood, Jane Levinsky, who's a community member who's invested in our cemeteries, has worked with banner up signs and Alfredo Ironworks to on the sign creation. And so it's kind of hard to tell, but on the left-hand side, there is an oak tree. And then the sign is supposed, it's like a wood
Like this one,
type product. Yeah,
that's like an actual sign that kind of shows the relief, right?
yep. So I'm hopeful that we'll have that installed this fall. And so there'll be a sign, if you've been to Oakwood, when you drive in, there's a boulder there that says Oakwood Cemetery. This will be installed behind it, but then we're also doing a smaller sign and putting it out by the drive on First Street so that people know that the cemetery exists behind the church there. And then we're going to do a very similar sign at Evergreen with an evergreen tree. So this has been a project I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm glad that we're finally there. And then planting. Oh, then once the paving project is done, we're gonna be planting some native plants in the area that we had some work done earlier this year, and so that, you know, it's consistent with what the rest of the cemetery looks like, and extending that split rail fence all the way to the southwest corner. So a lot of projects this summer at the cemetery, and it feels good to get them done. So any questions about any of that?
You didn't mention the back to school bash, were you not there? Was it township not?
We were not. When
Okay.
was that?
You said, when was it? I think last Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You said the 10th, right? That was
I
last
think
Saturday.
after 11, yeah.
Yeah, it was the 10th.
I was on vacation. I've been there anyway.
I'm trying to figure out the date.
Yeah, it was the 10th. Cause I had a big meeting on the 12th. So I know it wasn't the 11th.
Oh, okay. No, how was it?
From what I saw, it was nice. The line was huge. It's on Facebook, so if you want to see it, that line was, man, I don't know that I would have stood in that long line. I probably would have came back, cause it was hot, you know, but I think, you know, people for their children do all kind of stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were there one
And they-
year and it was,
Yeah, they had hot dogs and hamburgers and, you know, all the stuff that kids like.
Yeah.
Games and stuff, so yeah. And the schools were well represented, so. I didn't see when they went around with the camera, I didn't see them say township, but I remember before they had said
yeah, we were there a couple
township,
of.
so I
years
thought
ago.
like, oh, what happened?
Okay, clerk's report?
Yeah, no, I received, as Supervisor Hess said, the materials from the meeting she attended about elections. The first day to start circulating petitions is August 20th. I got an email from the County Board of Elections about that, and that will keep you updated on the process as it goes along. So, yeah. Let me know if you have any questions, of course, about the process, because I have a lot of wonderful documentation and signature requirements and all that stuff, so.
All right, Highway Commissioners report. Highway Commissioner Smith just returned from the state Highway Commissioners Conference. You've been there the last several days, so he wasn't able to be here tonight, but left an update on projects. And just for the sake of our recording, I'll go ahead and read those. Gerler Road has a contractor of Martin and Company, and they are doing work from 4th Street to Corporate Drive. And it was closed today for that work. Greenwood Acres Drive, there's resurfacing being done there. Elliott and Wood are handled that because it's complete. Rich Road, Elliott and Wood also did a work there, a sidewalk addition that is now complete. And those are the photos that represent that project. And then internal projects that his team is working on is road striping. I'm not sure of the location of that. John Huber Parkway shouldering. And then the contract for the parcel of land for sale off Bethany and the bridges of River Mess is progressing. You know, anticipating that they'll close in next month. And then tonight we're going to be talking about the fuel IGA and the highway commissioner has approved that. That was developed by their attorney and reviewed by ours. And so that's what's in your packet tonight. So that's it from the highway commissioner, assessor's report.
All I got is my office staff, Corey Nelson, just finished his last class. He should have his designation later this year after he gets his results. So 3 out of the 4 of us will have our designation.
All right, trustees report, trustee Thurman.
Like Supervisor Hess said, was it a week ago?
The 31st,
The 31st, yeah.
no, August 1st.
August
Sorry. Thursday.
I passed, this telesponder, turn in and pick up the new sticker telesponder event at Miranda's. So it's Kim, Seth, and I, we were there, Mary was there too, you know, so, we saw over 300 people. That was in my count at one point.
We got a count back of nearly 500 were served.
Oh, that's good. And I bet you 200 of those were walk-ins because we had a bunch of, you know, pre-registered to come in at a lot of times. And then there quite a bit of walk-ins, the overwhelming report from people that it was very helpful and they were grateful that we did it. And some people did not don't understand exactly the process. And everyone was happy that they got $10 immediately from turning in that transponder put right on your account at the time. And it went pretty rapid. There were a couple periods where there was a little bit slow down. We had a lot of traffic, but people, it wasn't bad at all. We gave out 10% off coupons for Lincoln Inn. And so a lot of people used that the same day to get something to eat while they waited, and they all enjoyed the 10% off coupon. That was good until a couple
The
days
12th.
ago, the 12th.
I heard a lot of good things about that it went really smoothly.
Yeah, Kim did a
Yeah,
really
yeah.
great job of organizing it.
And the people from the tollway, they were really nice and helpful too, and patient there the entire day.
Yeah.
Worked hard.
Yeah, so we're doing another one September 12th. And I'm just maybe gonna take a little bit of
Is
a
that the
break.
appointment only one?
Yes,
That's right.
and that's here, and that one goes into evening hours. So, anything else?
That's about it. It was a worthwhile event.
Okay, and again, thank you to Verandas, Bill McMahon for allowing us to use that space for free. It was perfect location, perfect size. It was an ideal, much better than when we tried to have it here.
Ramming everybody in.
Into 13 parking spots,
Yeah.
400 people. Yeah, so, trustee McNabb,
No report?
trustee King,
Well, the students are returning. We have been working diligently to prepare for that, harder than I can appreciate right now in this moment. Been working hard for the last probably 3 weeks, super hard. talking about the DMV, I noticed that the DMV is no longer open on Saturday. And they are open now, Monday through Friday. You're nodding because you knew. I didn't know, and I went on, well, obviously personally, you know, I needed to go get my sticker and I looked online and I thought, what does it mean? Monday they're open. And I went up there and there was nobody. And I thought, how cool is this? And so I asked the guy behind the counter, I'm like, wow, you are on open on Saturday? He said, no, everything changed. I guess a lot of places that normally have a Saturday open day don't have that anymore. And I asked him, did he like it? I said, do you like the Mondays? And he said, not really. I really liked having that whole day to do my errands, but they're used to it now. So I thought I would share that because most people don't know that. Did you all know that? Yeah, most people don't know that. So if you're used to that Saturday visit, and they probably didn't talk about it, I guess, when they met with people. Because I'm sure you would have said that, because that's a big deal in DeKalb. They've always had a Saturday day. That's it, I guess, just the students are coming and they're doing work up under the bridge. And who knows when they'll be finished, which is ironic and interesting, but you know, it is what it is. That's the way most students are gonna come. They're not gonna take the Sycamore Road, but talk about a line, that's gonna be a line of traffic. So. You know what,
Probably been over the
by CBS,
They
CDS.
say it'll be done by the time moving day gets here. The northbound will be done
okay, moving day is,
Wednesday.
yeah,
This,
Yeah, they just did the
That's what it
outside
is.
lane today, cut the grooves in it, so I would imagine a day or two. It'll be done.
they're gonna finish both sides by
I
the,
think they'll do the southbound later.
Oh, okay.
They'll have the northbounders done.
oh, okay.
I
Okay,
think that's the plan.
well,
Say it'll be done in September, for what it's worth.
The south.
The Lucinda Bridge.
Oh, we're talking about a different area.
Gotcha. Which, for the sake of the notes, which bridge are we talking about?
up under the,
Any planning just south of,
Like
There's so much
CVS.
construction, I just-
Yeah,
no, thank you.
just south of 38.
going under the railroad bridge.
he said September, my heart bad. It's good to be.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, well, that just would be a long line, wouldn't it?
oh, man.
Go all the way back to the toll.
It already goes back past Taylor, you know, past the grocery store sometime.
Yeah, well, hopefully things will be fine.
And they divert a bunch out west of town and up Nelson now. That's a huge improvement. They've been doing that for like at least 15 years, I think. That was a game changer.
Yeah,
They said
well,
west on Fairview and then north.
oh, okay. Well, and they're moving them in at different times, so that's a help also. The new students come at one
Yeah, they
point
stagger.
and everybody else, yeah. So. It is what it is.
Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
But I think of it though, you know,
Yeah. Trustee Bradlow?
COI met last month. We approved the application for the grants and then that was launched the next day, I think, wasn't it? And then, we also increased the amount, so now it's like $5,000. Yeah, and then we meet next Tuesday on the 20th.
And it's not going to be a rolling application period, it'll be quarterly. So September 1st is our first deadline for applications. So we've already taken a couple of calls.
You said August 20th?
August 20th is the next meeting at 5 p.m.
So yeah, hopefully, and we have put a major emphasis on the 40 developmental assets. So we'll also be helping promote those in the community. Anything else? You want to talk about anything with the salary?
Well, we need to start figuring out what it's gonna be, but, yeah, like I said, I made that chart with the past 5 years. of the supervisor, tax assessor, and highway commissioner's salaries. And then, the one, we think it was a half year, a split year.
But even his was frozen while the others aren't. I don't remember.
You know,
Where did you get these numbers?
The site's on there. I have another
Oh,
copy.
okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure those are 100%.
I don't think
From
they
Gov salaries.
Yeah.
I can get you those numbers from,
yeah, we ran flat that first year. And.
Yeah, I mean, this shows
I
a
never
big
got that
decrease.
nice. Yeah, no, that's not right,
Yeah,
because that was flat. And then it was 2% for the 3 years after.
alright.
It was flat that first year, 2% for the next 3 years.
Yeah. the salary setting resolution is probably more accurate. Did I send that to you all?
I don't think so.
He sent us some, but it didn't really list people's salaries. It just talked about how people, how townships go about setting salaries.
Oh, that's the TOI one.
Yeah, like that
Yes.
was almost worthless as far as
Yeah.
Yeah,
seeing actual numbers.
yeah.
Sure.
So that's TOIs.
That didn't really do.
So I can send you the salary setting resolution.
Yeah, that's the zones of the
Mhm.
state.
That's why I went and looked it up for myself because I was like, well, this doesn't really.
Yeah, that didn't do much.
And then, as I said, last month, the clerks from Collinsville was supposedly putting together figures from, for similar sized townships. I went on their website, they voted on theirs last night, so he must have that spreadsheet done, so I put in another request. I'm hoping that he'll share it with me. And then I'll distribute that. But that's all the information I have at this point. I don't. You said you.
I have a couple of comparables. It's real difficult for, I'm sure for the highway commissioner and actually for even you and myself finding. Just because a township might be comparable for me, it wouldn't be comparable for Craig or for you. Depending on roles, because I'm looking at parcel count,
Yeah.
parcel diversity. Cause like all the manufacturing and industry that we have. Like if you go to Hampton Township, they have similar parcel count, but it's mainly residential. So. It's in residential tends to be easier, so I tend to look at places like Belvedere. Where they have some industry, but they're housing also. So it's a little difficult. I've found a few. And I think Belvedere was probably the best one as far as parcel count and parcel diversity. The only thing is they don't typically have the multifamily housing like we do because of the university, but they do have it, just not as much. But I'll do more digging and come up with a couple of others. Drawing blank, I think Oswego Township was another one that was similar-ish. But again, because they have industry as well, so.
And what did we do back last time we voted for this? Did we do 0?
Flat for a year, yep, and then 222. Yep.
And then I've looked at, other townships and they're all over the place, A lot of townships have administrators and the supervisor more just oversees things. So they're not a full-time person, don't have a full-time position like I do, or they have, bookkeepers that do all the bill paying. And so finding someone that,
That's what it.
yeah,
it's-
full-time and.
It's hard to
handles-
find comparables. For all three different positions, and just because. They might be comparable for me, doesn't mean they're comparable for you or Craig,
Right,
or I should say. Or the supervisor or highway commissioner, it's the next election, and he knows,
Right.
Assessors in every township full-time?
no.
Okay.
And some assessors do multiple townships, just for example, the Sycamore Township assessor. He has Sycamore, Mylan, Malta, South Grove and Mayfield townships. He does all. But like South Grove and Mayfield, they might have 500 parcels. So, yeah, it's mainly farm and the county does all farmland values. So he does multiple, and Cortland, they're trying, I believe the Cortland Township Assessor is trying to get to a full-time position because of the growth that's happened in Cortland. But as far as full-time, it's DeKalb Sycamore are the only ones close. Yeah. But Cortland is because of their growth that they've expanded. It should be. It's usually right about the 5,000 to 6,000 parcel count that you start becoming full-time.
So if, you know, I mean, we're gonna get this information from this Collinsville clerk, but if you have any suggestions and want me to do anything else to get more information, I'm happy to do it. I just, you know, if there's a more creative way to do this. I just took a call this week from Cherry Valley Township Supervisor, you know, requesting some information, and so it's, you know, a complex task to do.
Yeah, I mean, if the current salaries aren't out of whack with comparables, I like to focus on just a fair wage, you know,
Mhm.
fair percentage increases and not try and dissect the whole thing and,
Right,
You know.
about the wheel.
yeah, we're,
And honestly, from what I've found in my research, we're fair rate. If we were to just have a standard 3% a year or whatever, okay, that's reasonable. Granted, with inflation the last couple of years, the 2% that we were
right, didn't keep up.
Right.
not
But
even
then I know
close,
the-
but
Raises prior to that were beyond inflation, so
right, so I think we're
I think over
actually,
time
right,
you stay in that 2 to 3% rate
Right.
and you're pretty fair and
Yep.
consistent.
right, I mean, yeah, could I find comparables that shoot me way higher? Sure. But that wouldn't be fair.
Right.
You gotta be realistic. Yeah, there's some that are higher, there's some that are lower. Okay,
Being a mathematician, I always probably say just find like all of the different properties of it, like not properties, like characteristics, like say the city is this one, has this many people, this many parcels,
right,
and then do a regression analysis.
yeah,
And then you can look at all the numbers and that'll tell you about what's fair. And I was just saying, not even look at that number, do it a couple different ways, and then that's when you did your due diligence. And that's all we want to say. Make sure you pay fairly, because I know you do a lot of work, but it's like how to figure out how you can pay it, make the constituents know.
Right,
Right.
right. Yeah, so
And we're not
it's not
doing
an easy task.
township, so,
So we're not what?
in Dalton, so.
no,
No, it just has to be a fair process, you know.
Mhm.
Yes, if it's not fair, who would take the job, you know?
Everyone deserves to make a fair living.
there aren't a whole lot of people knocking down the door to be the assessor.
Exactly, and that's, you know, right, like, if you fairly pay a fair wage, you get good work out of people.
Mhm. Yeah. So hopefully this week I'll be sending you another email with that information, and then,
So in the past, it's been no increase, 2%, 2%, 2%.
That was just
That was
the
the
last
last
round
round.
that we did.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know.
Prior to that, we had a lot of,
There
someone
was a-
gave us like the historical raises back at least a couple terms.
That was Eric Johnson that did that.
Yeah.
And
It's
it,
probably on my computer.
I believe it was pretty standard for 2 or 3 terms where it was 3%.
Yeah,
4%.
yeah.
3 to 4% every year. The one term, it was 5% the first year and then knocked down to 3 the last 3 because based on the comparables, we were actually falling a little behind. So that first year was 5 and then 3 every after, but this last election or term, it was flat the first year because of COVID and trying to keep costs down.
Yeah. And I just remember looking backwards, we saw that the raises were generous compared to the rate of inflation.
Right,
And we were just trying to be responsible, and it was COVID stuff for
Right.
sure. So that's why we basically did the zero the
Right.
first year. But now we're getting more into back to normal,
Mhm.
you know, so we don't need to.
So, there's, I can't recall the date, but this has to be done by a certain date in November. So, I don't know if it's realistic to try to have this on the September agenda or October. And how to
It's the September meeting.
September 11th.
Sure, I'll be here. We get at least September, October, we should be able to get it done.
Okay, all right. So we'll see what information we have. Nancy, you'll be my check-in person. Sure. And see if it's ready to go on the September agenda. If we've collected enough data. If not, if we do it in October, that's still plenty of time.
Yeah, because when's it take effect?
Well, it takes effect,
after the next election.
But for one of you, it's
Well,
further.
For me, because my term is January 1st.
Okay.
So after the election, that first year, so I was flat.
It's weird. I just
Yeah.
remember it's weird.
Yeah,
One of you
mine
is
is
offset
the only
from
one that's
other.
offset,
Yeah.
because their term starts May 15th.
it varies, but
Yeah,
middle of May.
Middle of May,
Yeah.
where even after the election, I still have 8 months
In your term to.
in my
left.
term left.
Even if you lost the
Even
election.
if I
you keep
lost,
your 8
I'm
months.
still here 8 more months.
That's what I was thinking of.
But it has to be set 180 days before the election.
Right, that's why the November date seemed.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
All right, well, we're making progress on it, so,
It says it, the November date too, in the material that you sent.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, so.
Okay. Anything else? Trustee Brett? No, okay. All right, moving on to bill pay. Can I get a motion to approve the July audit report in the amount of $385,359.80? And the August bills to pay in the amount of $125,128.01.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, just a July audit report, you notice, we paid for our car that's out there. So we now have a township vehicle that is shared between supervisor and assessor's departments, and I, for one, am quite happy to. Nice car, and then it got lettered, so. All right, any other points of discussion?
Where do you all go for maintenance? Do you go to Brad Manning? You got somebody else?
Well, we haven't had it maintained, haven't had to have it maintained yet, but I would imagine Brad Manning, I mean, just convenient to drop it off and walk back over here.
Just curious.
Yeah,
Plus, I'm sure it's under one.
right, but oil changes and
Right,
stuff like
right.
that. Yeah. Okay, so, roll call, please.
Trustee King,
Aye.
trustee Bradlow,
Yeah.
trustee Thurman,
All right,
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5-0 nays, the motion passes.
Next, can I get a motion to receive, file, and approve the treasurer's July budget reports?
so moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? Just one thing I want to point out on page 23, cemetery income. We budgeted 5,000 for this year and are already up to 9,900. I did reach out to Torma, who is our insurance company, about some headstone damage that had occurred. And we were able to work through it. And so we did receive a check, I think it was $7,500 that we got from them. And so when the restoration people come, it's hopefully going to be this month. In addition to the regular maintenance that we do, we will go back to those headstones that had previously been worked on and have those repaired again, since we did get that insurance money. So it's good to see that, you know, we could work on that matter and come to a resolution on it. Any other discussion points? Roll call, please.
Trustee Thurman,
Aye.
trustee King,
I,
trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee McNutt.
Yeah.
Supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, it passes.
No unfinished business, so moving on to new business. Starting on page 53 of your packet is the resolution for the execution of the IGA with the DeKalb Township Road District for accessing and purchasing fuel. So can I get a motion to approve resolution 2024-007T, authorizing the execution of the IGA with the DeKalb Township Road District regarding access to and purchase of fuel?
So moved.
I'll second.
So this IGA was put together by both attorneys. And it just spells out the terms of us being able to access the fuel that the road district pre-purchases. So just some things to point out. The road district's gonna issue us a key so that we can, if their gate's locked, that we can get in, and then a key for the fuel pump itself. And then we have tickets that we will fill out and turn into the road district. So then each month they can issue us an invoice for what we owe them for the fuel that we've used. Right now it's set up as a 1-year term, and this will auto renew if, you know, unless either party wants to cancel it. So it's pretty standard, and will be cost savings to the township, provided cost savings. So any questions about that? Not roll call, please.
Trustee Bradlow,
Yes.
trustee McNutt,
Aye.
trustee Thurman,
Aye.
trustee King,
I,
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
5 ayes, 0 nays, it passes.
Get wired.
I appreciate that.
Next, can I get a motion for the discussion and approval of expenditure for a Quay grant request in the amount of $500 from DeKalb Public Library?
So moved.
I will second that. All right, discussion. So in your packet is the final grant you'll see of this version of the application. This is one that's come to us for a few years now, where the library and the school district collaborate for a early learning outreach program. And they purchase books and read the books to the students, and so then the students get to keep those books and add them to their home library. And this was reviewed by the Committee on Youth, who had a discussion about something that we had previously had a discussion about other taxing bodies coming to us for taxpayer dollars. But in the end, they recommended that it be approved. So that's what we're here for tonight. Any questions about it? Or trustee Bradlow, would you add anything to that?
Well, we decided to move forward with it because we've supported it in the past. And there are books going to kids, you know, in our community, so
And reading for pleasure is a developmental asset.
yes.
For my senses, there was some reservations about funding.
Well, because the DeKalb Public Library is a taxing body and they're coming to us asking for money. So like moving forward, we're gonna be more conscientious on how, like, where the money's going. We just kind of came to us during the meeting, so,
Say for more for nonprofits and stuff like
Yeah.
that, instead of
yeah.
taxing
Yes. Any other comments, questions?
I would just add, even if that. You're gonna be more, what was the word you used, conscientious?
Yeah.
There would always be a way to make sure we can provide. Programs or opportunities for youth, cause they need it, and even though. You know, the library is a taxing body. There are always kids that are left out. In fact, I'm saying, right, this has been an excellent partnership between DeKalb School District, at-risk preschool program, you know, the sooner the better.
Mhm.
So my perspective is always is that we can help the kids, especially the sooner the better.
Yeah, I agree with that too, but it gives the perception of double dipping too, when it's that you're a taxing body and you're getting more money from another taxing body, and you just gotta be concerned with the optics of that.
So, I mean, it's just,
I got a view.
yeah, well, go under consideration on a case by case basis, according to the COIN members. Yep. So, yep, so this is coming to you tonight, with a recommendation for approval. So if there's no other questions, roll call.
Trustee King,
Aye.
trustee McNutt,
Yes.
trustee Thurman,
No,
trustee Brenzo,
Yes.
and supervisor Hess.
Yes.
With 4 ayes and 1 nay, the motion passes.
And next is the meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes of the regular Board of Trustees meeting of July 10th, 2024?
so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Minutes are adopted. No old business, no executive session, so other business, our next committee on youth meeting is August 20th, 2024. That's here at 5 p.m. And our next Board of Trustees meeting is on September 11th at 6 p.m. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn, please.
I'm looking to adjourn.
I will second that. So meeting is adjourned at 6:55. Are all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Now our meeting is adjourned at 6:55.
A lot of eyes on that adjournment.
Okay.